Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, my friends, is probably one of the coolest videos that I've ever been able to post. Today, we are breaking down Call of Duty Vanguard. Yes, that is right. Call of Duty 2021 is officially Call of Duty Vanguard, and I was fortunate enough to be able to get an early look at it from the developers and from Activision. And I gotta say, my expectations were definitely blown out of the water. I've got a lot of information to share with you guys today about the overall game, about the story, about multiplayer, Warzone, and even zombies as well. So we're gonna be covering that all today. If you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's go for 3,500 likes on this one. And of course, if you are new to the channel or if you haven't already subscribed, I'm going to be covering everything there is to know about Call of Duty Vanguard. Obviously, when the game comes out, we're going to be covering all the best setups, all the news, updates, intel, everything going on with Vanguard, and obviously Warzone and everything else as well is going to be right here. So feel free to subscribe. That way you can always stay up to date. So first things first, I want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to my friends over at Activision and Call of Duty who actually allowed me to, join in on seeing this game early. And it was the first time I've ever been able to do something like this for a brand new Call of Duty. So this was a completely foreign experience to me. And it was awesome. I'm incredibly honored to actually even be invited to it. So again, huge thank you to Activision. Also huge thank you to you guys. Without you guys, supporting the videos and helping the channel grow, I would never have had the opportunity. So super cool and super surreal to me. It was definitely a very cool experience. But let's get into the nitty gritty, all the details about Call of Duty Vanguard. Obviously, the title is out there now. Call of Duty Vanguard is the name. I'm glad it's not something incredibly long like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Just makes titling videos easier on YouTube, right? So Vanguard is the official title, and it is releasing November 5th. So it is a bit of an earlier launch compared to some other November launches that we've seen before. It also sort of helps us now decipher what's going to go on with the end of the Cold War era and whatnot in Warzone. We'll be talking about that in a future video, so stay tuned for that. But Vanguard title, November 5th launch. As far as the overall gameplay goes, the focus here is on a variety of different locations. Obviously, this is a World War II based Call of Duty, but it's not going to be just like World War II, which we had before from Sledgehammer as well. This one is a lot more expanded. They're focusing on 4 different main locations: North Africa, the Eastern Front, the Western Front, and the Pacific Front. So we have a much more global view at World War II here, and it's honestly a really cool story. There's a lot to get into with that, and we'll be breaking down more stuff, like I said, in future videos and as new information becomes available. But it is essentially a holistic experience across all modes and Warzone. There's going to be a giant ecosystem of content. They described it as it's basically going to be this unified experience. So yes, it's going to have ties to Warzone. Obviously, we're going to see different connections between the campaign, multiplayer, and Warzone as well. And I would assume probably something with zombies too. We'll get into that later on into the video. But overall, what we got to see of the game, we ended up being able to see an actual campaign mission. This one was called Operation Tonga. It takes place on D-Day -1, so the night before D-Day. And it was a really cool mission based off what we saw. We didn't get to see a ton of gameplay, but what we did see, I was, very impressed by. Visually, the game looks great. We didn't get to see a ton of different overall aesthetics, but the aesthetic that we saw, I thought was awesome. It was a really cool looking mission, and just the overall feel of the game and the look of the game was really good. So you can tell that it's been refined and worked on for quite some time, just based off the visuals and whatnot alone. The audio also sounds phenomenal. The way that you were able to hear different explosions going off in the distance and how that almost like bounced off of the environment and whatnot. Like, it actually sounded really cool, and obviously it looked really cool. The immersion was definitely there. As far as the overall UI goes, it looks very similar to like Modern Warfare, just like with a different font. Very similar to that though. So obviously most of us have played Modern Warfare. We know how that looks and feels. And from an aesthetic standpoint and from a visual standpoint, it is relatively similar to that. And as mentioned, as far as the locations go, Vanguard is placed all over the world, and they're really focusing on multi-front battles. Now, I mentioned the UI sort of looking like Modern Warfare's, and as far as the core tech goes, Sledgehammer did tell us that this is built and sort of upgraded off of the Modern Warfare 2019 engine. We've had rumors about this for quite some time that, the MW 2019 engine was going to be a focus for COD 2021, so the games would feel pretty similar to one another. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed how Modern Warfare 2019 and how Warzone feel when it comes to gunplay and movement and just how your character feels in the world, right? So it's gonna feel similar to that. However, it's enhanced more in various ways. They said they focused on visual fidelity, optimized performance, which is always a huge bonus. They did take some environmental qualities from Black Ops engine and the Treyarch engine and added that in too. So it's sort of a hybrid of the two, but primarily from what I understand, it is gonna feel very similar to Modern Warfare 2019 as far as the gameplay and whatnot goes. Now let's talk a little bit about the story. We did get some information on some of the characters, the protagonists and the antagonists. As we've sort of been seeing with these teasers on Call of Duty's Twitter over the past few days, we have a total of 4 main characters. Basically, we have Sergeant Arthur Kingsley. He's like the main leader of the group. We have Lieutenant Polina Petrova, who's based off the most successful female sniper in history. And that's obviously the character that we've seen in Warzone with like the whole end cutscene as well. We also have Captain Wade Jackson and Second Lieutenant Lucas Riggs. Those are going to be the main protagonists. Then the head antagonist is going to be Heinrich Freisinger. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he is like the main director of the Gestapo. So he's the main antagonist in the game. Now let's talk multiplayer for Vanguard, because there's a lot of really cool stuff going on here. We're playing as the original Special Forces operators. That's like the whole backstory to who we are in multiplayer as our characters. This to me was crazy news. There's going to be 20+ maps at launch, ladies and gentlemen. A huge variety of maps. We're going to have 16 6v6 maps and 4 2v2 maps. So yes, there will be a 2v2 mode returning. And for 6v6, we have got a lot of variety. 16 maps at launch, 20 in total, 20+ they said actually. So that is a staggering number compared to what we've seen before with other Call of Duty launches. Obviously, Cold War didn't have a ton of maps at launch. I don't believe Modern Warfare multiplayer had that many either. So definitely a lot of diversity when it comes to multiplayer gameplay, at least as far as environments go. That was really cool news to me. They've also made some general tactical gameplay adjustments. Weapons can actually be placed on surfaces and whatnot. You'll really feel the environment more as a character in game. And something that I thought was really cool is that guns can actually be put over cover and fired while in cover. So a little bit of like blind fire, where you can hide behind like a fallen bookshelf, let's say, and actually hold your weapon over said bookshelf and shoot across. Obviously it's gonna be like more hip fire based, I would imagine, so you're not going to be super accurate with it, but it's a really cool way that sort of enhances the Call of Duty gameplay experience, something that we really haven't seen before. Obviously, we've had mounting, we've had the ability to hide behind cover, but we've never had the ability to shoot while in cover sort of blindly like that, so that's a pretty cool upgrade. And there's a lot of environmental aspects in this game. The world is very interactive. You can shoot through different boards, you can make all sorts of holes in walls. And they said, I mean, I'm sure this is them gassing their game, but you can't not sort of go along with it. They said this is the best gunplay experience in Call of Duty history. And, you know, considering this is based off the Modern Warfare 2019 engine and an upgraded version of that, I love the gunplay in MW 2019. So I feel like if they're enhancing that even more, it really does have the possibility to be that ultimate gunplay experience, especially when you have all the interactive and environmental aspects put into the gameplay as well, with the ability to, you know, almost change the maps in a lot of ways. Another big focus point was these new ways to play called combat pacing, which sort of changes how the gameplay feels. You have tactical, standard, and blitz, and these are going to be available on all maps and all modes. You can go in and select which one you want to play. Tactical sort of increases the time to combat, and this is going to have a much more realistic feel to it. So if you're a hardcore player and you want to like true almost you know, realism experience, tactical is going to be able to offer that. Standard is of course the normal COD feel that we all know and love. Then there's also blitz, which they said is just pure chaos. It places as many players as possible on any given map, so it is just complete and utter chaos, and it's hectic as can be from start to finish. So depending on how you want to play, you do have a bunch of different options. They also teased a brand new thing called the Champion Hill. They said this was Battle Royale plus gunfight plus progression of weapons and power over time. So we're going to have to sort of see what this is like once we get our hands on it. But it's a new mode that's sort of combining a lot of these fan favorite aspects with gunfight and with Battle Royale. It should be pretty cool. They also told us a bit of information about zombies. Surprisingly enough, Treyarch is actually leading the development on the zombie storyline. This is the first like Call of Duty franchise crossover like that, where we have the main game, multiplayer, and the campaign and everything led by Sledgehammer, and then the third co-op mode, Zombies, is led by Treyarch. So they're sort of coming together to create that experience. And And this is actually going to tell the prologue of Black Ops Cold War Zombies. So it's going to be very intertwined with what we have this year with Zombies, with the Treyarch team and within Cold War, which I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, we're not huge on zombies here on the channel, but the fact that there is actually a completely different direction in terms of development for this year in specific is actually pretty cool. Treyarch is heading up that. And then, of course, we get to Warzone. And folks, let me tell you, we have got so much awesome news when it comes to Vanguard and Warzone. So first up, they were able to tell us that Raven is making a brand new map, not Verdansk, not Verdansk 84, not necessarily Verdansk 1944 or whatever, a brand new Warzone map that is going to be coming later on this year. They did not specify if it would be coming at launch or sometime shortly after that. That's something we're going to have to learn about here in the future, but we are finally, at long last, getting a full new Warzone map, which I think the game has needed for quite some time. It's long overdue, and it should really, really spice up gameplay and make things feel fresh and new once again. The biggest news, I think, out of all of this, and something that I think everyone is saying finally for, anti-cheat. Anti-cheat is coming at the launch of Vanguard to Warzone. So when Vanguard launches and Warzone gets that launch update, an anti-cheat is going to be implemented. Obviously, this has been the #1 priority of the community really ever since launch, because cheaters have been such an abundant thing since launch. Every single game, it's like at this point, it's been a huge problem for so long. An anti-cheat, though, is finally coming to combat that. I was ecstatic when they said that right in this briefing. I missed everything else they said at first because this was such a huge thing. They said anti-cheat's coming, and I was celebrating in my room. I won't lie. I was very, very happy to hear that. Following that, they also said that Warzone and Vanguard are going to be built on the same tech here for a seamless integration with weapons and operators and all sorts of stuff like that. So obviously, as we know, the Cold War integration into Warzone was messy. It was all sorts of clunky and broken, and the weapons weren't working, attachments weren't working, things were very broken and overpowered. That shouldn't be the case this time. And also, the general feel of the weapons is going to be, the same as what we're used to, because it's going to be built off of similar engines, and that seamless integration is going to be a thing this time. It's not going to be like Cold War, where those weapons were made on the Cold War or Treyarch engine, and they were ported into Warzone, which was a completely different engine, hence why they don't feel as smooth as some of the Modern Warfare weapons do in a lot of situations. So the integration this year should be a lot better than what we saw last year, which again, I think is very, very exciting. This is also going to be building for a new metaverse that combines Vanguard, Cold War, and Modern Warfare all in sort of one universe here. So we're going to have a seamless story connecting all three of those. And then to close things out, they said there's going to be a ton of free post-launch content. That's just like the new seasons and whatnot, new weapons, operators, map changes, all sorts of stuff like that, that of course is free. Now it's going to continue to be free. There's going to be a lot of it, according to Sledgehammer and Call of Duty. So yeah, that's sort of the core stuff that we learned from this whole reveal that we got. Like I said, it was such a cool experience to actually be able to see this for the first time ever in my whole career as like a Call of Duty player or a YouTuber here. So again, huge thank you to you guys for all the support on the channel, for allowing this opportunity to actually happen, because without you guys, the channel would not be where it's at now, and I wouldn't be allowed to be able to experience these sort of things and inform you guys early with this really, really cool stuff. And also, huge thank you to Activision and Call of Duty for the invite. I seriously do appreciate it. It was very, very special for me, honestly, because like I said, this is my first time ever doing this. And overall, I would say I'm very excited for Vanguard. Initially going in, we had all these rumors about it being a World War II game, and I wasn't thrilled about that because I do prefer more modern or near future games, but they blew my expectations out of the water. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, but with the upgrades that they've made to how the game is going to feel, what we are told about multiplayer and Warzone and zombies here that we discussed, like, it all sounds very, very cool and very exciting and intriguing to me. So I'm eager to see what this game is going to be like come launch. Of course, in the coming days and weeks, as we get more information on Vanguard and what's going on, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. This is the best place to be for all the Call of Duty information, so make sure you are subscribed with your notifications on to stay up to date with everything. And of course, if you enjoyed the video or if you're excited for Vanguard, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.